You hear these state slogans, like Michigan calling itself a place of pure opportunity and a perfect base.
Hmm.
It really makes you wonder, what's behind that?
Right. Is it just marketing speak?
Exactly. So today in our deep dive, we're looking at Michigan. We've got two interesting sources.
Yeah, the official Michigan business website, and then this You Can in Michigan page. That one's focused specifically on veterans.
So our mission really is to dig into what these sources say makes Michigan attractive. For businesses, sure, but also for individuals, especially veterans.
And you might be surprised, actually. There seems to be quite a bit happening there.
What I found interesting right off the bat was how these two sources, well, they seem aimed differently, but the story feels connected.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, there's a joined-up approach, not just random initiatives, but maybe a bigger strategy for growth.
Okay, let's start with the business side then, the Michigan business side.
Mm-hmm.
A big player seems to be the MEDC. That's the Michigan Economic Development Corporation.
Yeah.
They talk about this network, over 100 partners, all there to help businesses, big or small.
And that network, that's more than just a number, isn't it? It suggests a really interconnected system.
Yeah, like a small business could potentially tap into resources for funding, talent, research,
Mm-hmm.
all under one sort of state umbrella.
Which you don't always see, that level of integration.
So the MEDC isn't just off doing its own thing.
Seems not. It suggests coordination, across different levels, different sectors, all pushing the economy forward.
And they mentioned a comprehensive economic development toolkit. What do you think that actually includes?
Well, likely things like specific tax incentives, maybe easier permitting processes, possibly access to university research, stuff designed to make it easier to start and grow.
Concrete things.
Exactly, lowering the barrier to entry.
They also highlight the usual suspects, highly skilled talent pool, business-friendly climate.
We hear those a lot.
But they add this high quality of life angle, and interestingly, the lowest cost of living of any state in the Midwest.
Okay, now that combination is pretty compelling.
It does sound good, but, the cost of living being low. Does that mean salaries might also be lower in these high-growth jobs they talk about?
That's a fair question. It's a balance, right? Lower living costs make employee pay go further, which is great for people. And it also makes Michigan attractive for businesses managing costs. Ideally, though, if the economy's really thriving, especially in these new high-tech areas that MEDC is pushing.
Like mobility and EVs?
Exactly. Then you'd hope to see competitive wages despite the lower cost of living. They seem to be aiming for quality jobs, good pay.
The MEDC definitely projects this forward-looking vibe. They talk about propelling Michigan to boldly drive the world forward.
The wrong words.
And lots of focus on driving innovation. That pure opportunity slogan is everywhere. It sort of ties into shaping the future.
Initially pure opportunity felt a bit generic.
A little bit, yeah.
But when you see the specific things, like the veteran support we'll get to, or the focus on these future industries, maybe there's real substance there.
Yeah, I had started to feel that too.
It signals they're not just relying on, say, traditional manufacturing. They're actively moving towards what's next.
Which fits with supporting small businesses too, right? Since they're often where new ideas bubble up.
Absolutely. Providing resources for those smaller players is crucial for, well, a healthy innovation scene.
And they even have practical tools like a site selector real estate database.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah, it takes some guesswork out of finding a location if you're a business wanting to, set up shop.
That shows they're being proactive, streamlining things for businesses looking to move in or expand, making it easy.
Definitely.
And you can't talk Michigan without thinking automotive, right?
Of course.
But the website stresses mobility, and it's clearly broader now. They're talking next transportation frontier, this whole ecosystem for mobility and electrification.
It's like seeing the state try to reinvent itself almost, building on that history but pointing towards EVs and beyond.
It's a smart pivot, or maybe an expansion.
And it's not just talk. They list actual MEDC events, like a trade mission to Indonesia and Malaysia.
Wow, okay. International reach.
And meetings for the Michigan Strategic Fund, the MSF. What exactly is that fund's role?
Think of the MSF as the state's main tool for putting money behind these strategies. It's likely where the big funding decisions happen for economic development, setting priorities.
Gotcha. So these events are about helping Michigan businesses go global and attracting more investment back home.
Precisely. Tangible actions.
Okay, let's shift gears then. Let's look at that other source, the You Can in Michigan Veterans page.
Right, the perfect base.
Yeah, the message is very direct. positioning Michigan as the ideal spot for veterans.
And they hit on things that matter for transition, don't they?
They do. Thriving towns, year-round recreation, natural beauty, but also, crucially, support systems.
That framing feels very deliberate. Community, quality of life, specific resources. That's often top of mind for veterans moving to civilian life.
Totally. And they back it up with numbers, like 62 veteran-friendly colleges and universities with support programs.
62. That's quite a network.
And over 400 employers flagged as veteran-friendly, with hiring and training programs.
400 plus employers. That suggests it's more than just a label. It implies these companies might have actual mentorships or career paths set up for vets.
Recognizing the value they bring. And they make that link very clear. Military experience connects to high-wage jobs in Michigan, which is, key.
Absolutely. What industries do they highlight?
Okay, so first up, engineering, design, and development. They lean into Michigan's heritage here, but also the top universities being a design hub.
And patents.
Yeah, over 6,600 patents filed last year alone.
Wow. That's serious innovation. It's that mix, isn't it? The established engineering foundation plus this constant push for new tech creates a dynamic place for engineers.
Definitely. Then they talk semiconductor.
Very relevant right now.
Totally. They position Michigan as having the biggest U.S. producer of polysilicon, which is key for chips, and a top global semiconductor training institute. So focusing on research, design, and importantly, reshoring that manufacturing.
That's strategic. Semiconductors are vital for everything. Michigan clearly wants a piece of that U.S. resurgence, and the training piece means they're building a workforce for it.
Makes sense? Then EV and mobility comes up again.
Connecting back.
Yeah, neatly connects back to the MEDC focus. Highlights the leadership, the big investments in batteries and electrification.
And jobs.
Over 3,000 current job openings mentioned.
3,000, that's tangible. It shows how fast that sector is growing there. A huge opportunity for vets with the right skills, engineering, tech, manufacturing.
It's where that auto legacy meets the EV revolution.
A unique spot to be in.
And lastly, they mentioned advanced manufacturing, explaining how the auto base has broadened out. Strong defense sector, aerospace, advanced materials like plastics, robotics. It's more diverse than just cars.
Right, so it's not all riding on one industry anymore. That diversification means more stability, wider opportunities for skilled workers, including veterans from those fields.
And to make it really concrete, the site lists specific companies hiring veterans.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, names like Aizen in Northville.
Yeah.
Analog Devices in Livonia, Ford in multiple places, Dearborn, Detroit, Marshall, GM in various spots, Hemlock Semiconductor up in Hemlock.
Yeah.
Quite a few. And they say, go check their websites.
That's so valuable for someone actually job searching. Specific names, locations, makes it much more targeted. It shows the state isn't just talking theory, they're connecting people to actual jobs.
So let's try and connect these dots then.
Okay.
It really seems like Michigan's business environment, the stuff the MEDC is driving, the innovation focus, that's directly creating the kinds of jobs that the UCAN in Michigan program is highlighting for veterans.
Absolutely. The synergy is really clear, isn't it? The MEDC works to grow these high-demand businesses.
Right.
And the Veterans Initiative actively channels skilled veterans into those roles. It's like a feedback loop. Good for business, good for veterans.
And then you throw in that quality of life and affordability piece from the business side.
Yeah.
It makes it an even stronger package for veterans and their families looking to, put down roots and build a career.
That affordability point can be huge during transition. So combine that with careers and support systems. Michigan seems to be offering a pretty holistic deal, addressing work and life.
Yeah.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it seems Michigan isn't just resting on its industrial past.
Not at all.
It's a place where businesses are pushing forward, innovating, and importantly, where there are real targeted opportunities for veterans in these growing fields.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. Isn't it pretty remarkable? A state with such a deep industrial history is so actively trying to shape the future mobility, tech, advanced manufacturing,
Right.
while at the same time specifically recognizing and recruiting the skills of veterans. What does that dual focus tell us about Michigan's long-term vision? Its potential maybe to really lead in this next phase of innovation.
Definitely food for thought. And hey, if you want more detail, we absolutely encourage you to check out the sources yourselves.
Yeah, the Michigan Business website and that UCAN in Michigan Veterans page. Lots more info there.
Well, thanks for diving deep with us today.